Welcome to the first part of a 4-episode series exploring the mechanics and application of wide-angle lenses. Over the next few videos, we will examine how these lenses function across landscapes, portraits, real estate, and astrophotography. Today, we begin with landscapes. A wide-angle lens, typically anything 35 millimeters or wider on a full-frame sensor, is often misunderstood. The common assumption is that its primary purpose is simply to fit more into the frame, but relying on a wide angle just to capture a broader field of view often results in images that feel distant, flat, and disconnected. The true power of a wide focal length isn't about width, it's about controlling perspective and depth. When you shoot with a wide angle lens, you exaggerate the relative distance between objects. Objects positioned close to the front element of the lens appear massive, while elements in the background recede rapidly. This isn't a flaw, it is the definitive characteristic of the lens. To utilize this, you must change your physical position. Standing at eye level on the edge of a scene will yield a massive, empty foreground and a tiny mountain range in the distance. Instead, you need to step into the scene and lower the camera by bringing the lens inches away from a foreground anchor, a textured rock, a patch of desert flora, or converging leading lines. You force a dramatic relationship between the near and the far. The foreground becomes the anchor, leading the viewer's eyes sequentially through the midground and toward the background. This first image is an area in Sedona known as Devil's Kitchen. I was standing in a trench when I captured this image. Ground level was about shoulder height and the camera lens was about 9 inches off the ground. The image guides your eyes through the scene. Your eyes naturally start at the sharp, textured agave in the immediate foreground, travel to the twisted, dead juniper tree trunk in the midground, and finally rest on the massive red rock formation in the background. It creates a complete, three-dimensional story of the high desert environment. This next image is a textbook example of using a wide angle to exaggerate leading lines. The sweeping curve of the concrete ramp acts as a massive foreground anchor. Because of the lens's perspective, the ramp appears immense at the bottom of the frame and quickly tapers, pulling the viewer's eye directly up into the red rock formations. It demonstrates how a wide field of view can dictate the viewer's visual journey. Because a wide field of view captures so much environmental data, you will inevitably face massive dynamic range challenges, such as a bright sky contrasting heavily against deep foreground shadows. Your camera's LCD screen is not a reliable metric for this. You must check your histogram, observing your shadows on the left side and your highlights on the right side of the graph. When balancing these high contrast wide scenes, remember that a gap on the left side of the histogram indicates that shadow data remains that could still be captured. A simple lack of clipping does not guarantee the full capture of all shadow data. You must be precise with your exposure to ensure the massive amount of information your lens is pulling in translates cleanly into your raw file. This third image is all about less is more in clutter management. In its current state, the left side of the frame contains chaotic, overlapping branches that distract from the beautiful canyon walls and the reflection in the water. This scene also features extreme dynamic range between the deep canyon shadows and the sky reflections. This is a case where your histogram will help significantly with optimizing your exposure. If there is a gap on the left of the histogram, shadow data remains that could still be captured. And always remember, a simple lack of clipping does not guarantee the full capture of all that shadow detail. Cropping this image demonstrates that a wide field of view often captures unwanted clutter and hides the best details. Finally, you must manage the edges of your frame. Wide-angle optics inherently stretch elements near the corners, a phenomenon known as volume anamorphosis. While you can correct standard barrel distortion in software like Lightroom, perspective stretching is optical physics. You must frame defensively. Keep critical vertical lines and key subjects away from the extreme corners, unless you are intentionally using that stretching to funnel the viewer's eye toward the center of the image. The framing here is very strong. The textured juniper trunk provides an immediate foreground anchor that gives context to the distant buttes. The branches extend near the corners of the frame. This can result in volume anamorphosis at the edges, in which case the image details actually lean away from the center. This makes it necessary to keep critical subjects out of the extreme corners. A wide-angle lens is a tool for exaggeration and spatial storytelling. By controlling your foreground proximity, managing your exposure data carefully, and policing the edges of your frame, you transform a flat landscape into a three-dimensional environment. In our next episode, we will take these same optical principles and apply them to portraits. Thank you for watching.